Ah, you did it! Yeah!
We're back for another one. This is version 2 of the Dirt Rocket Pro Spec. We're gonna put the full Electro and Company package on here. You guys have seen my backyard pit bike track, but I wanna know what this thing can really do. First, let's talk about what Razor changed about this bike. As you guys maybe saw in the first video, I actually bent the bolt in between this rear linkage. So what they did here, they really beefed up the linkage on this one, and they've beefed up the support around the actual bolt. So there's not so much weight just sitting on that bolt to bend that. I like a bike that can perform right out of the box. So beefing up this linkage just gives us a little more time and abuse to not worry about something going and breaking our first couple rides. Let's rip this thing apart. And this is what we're left with. The whole front end besides the legs actually all stays together, which makes things super convenient. The subframe on the V2 is actually wider than the V1. The stock Pro Spec comes with a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery. The one we're putting in from Electro and Co, it is a 76 volt at 24 amp hours. The motor we're putting in, this is the Electro and Co, the One, their newest upgraded version of this motor. The stock Pro Spec motor is a 1600 watt motor. The Electro Co is an 11,000 watt motor. I believe this is able to put out 19,000 watts. Sweet. The new forks slide directly into the stock trees. It's gonna raise your front end up about 1.5 inches. These forks have no adjustable settings on them, but they are quite a bit stiffer. I put the new brakes on. This is Electro and Co's new hydraulic brake. This new version 2 Pro Spec, everything bolts right in. Well, I did run into one piece we had to customize. When you do all these upgrades from Electro and Co and you get the true moto controller, this frame comes with mounting brackets for this. But if you run the stock shock of the Pro Spec, you have no problem. If you run the upgraded one with the reservoir, it actually hits the lower mounting bracket. What I did, just to keep it simple, I just straight cut it off. And obviously it's not a solid bracket that goes all the way across now, but it's still hard mounted. And I figured worst case, if these little brackets do crack, I can always just re-weld them. It's just floating there, right? We got 4 bolts and I don't really think we're gonna run into an issue with that bracket fully being gone, but it allows everything to clear, and now I have plenty of room for the reservoir and the upgraded shock. Now we're gonna be running an 80-10 on the road. So 80 tooth back sprocket, 10 tooth front sprocket on the motor. I think that's kind of all the important stuff. Everything else is just kind of tightening bolts and getting it all ready. Let's throw the plastics on. We're almost done. I did not trim the right side plastic, but I did take a chunk out of the corner of the left side purely so all my connections could go in one area. Everything's bolted up, ready to go. I got throw grips on and it's go time. We're gonna take this thing to the motocross track. See you out there. We are currently at Monster Mountain, Tallahassee, Alabama. Same track we did the last e-moto video with the SX500 and the new Electro and Co RTR. Today we're finally getting to test the Pro Spec, but my buddy with the RTR is meant to be on the way, so hopefully we can do some comparisons. The RTR is Electro and Co's out of the box, ready to go bike. So as much as I'm not comparing the two, this bike is simply faster than the RTR because we put all the modifications in it. The RTR is a killer bike right out of the box, and what I want to do is get the measurements of this bike and take the Pro Spec with all the modifications and take those measurements and compare them to the RTR and see how the size compares, because I know these two bikes were built at similar times with the same kind of idea in mind. But if you've seen the last video out here at the supercross track, obviously that's not normal, you guys aren't taking it to supercross tracks, but I definitely wanted a little more power out of the RTR, which my SX500 had. But the riding position was super weird on the SX500. Well, that's what's so good about the Pro Spec. The Pro Spec is the upgraded version of the Razor, a kids-friendly bike, but built around adult sizing. We're skipping all these today. In the last video, I had to really kind of preload and bunny hop on the RTR. This one just zips over it, no problem. 2 down. Let's move to another straightaway. I need to double this. After that double, there's a big double that I obviously cannot jump that. So I need to double this triple. Whoa! Those blind lifts are just so scary. All right, here we go again. That was better. Welcome back. Look at you matching today.
Pulled out some old stuff.
All right, we got 2 new jumps that we didn't get last time. Obviously, we just have more power this time, right? Greg's here in his RTR. So at the end of this video, we're gonna do some measurements and we're gonna see what the difference is in the stock RTR and the fully modified Razor Pro Spec. And I'll give you guys a full breakdown and parts list on what this bike costs, stock and to upgrade, versus the RTR, and obviously upgrading it to put it at the same level. Next straightaway, it's a roller on the table, off table. That's not gonna be the line I'm doing. If I can just get through that, I'll double that one, roll, and my goal is 2-2-2. That would be cool if I could jump all 3 of those last. So that's the goal. And my soul started falling off.
Oh my God.
All right, we want this one. 1, that's a big one. 2, oh my God, we can do that. If we can get all 3 of those. The ruts are just beating me up. We're doing suspension testing today too. Just got the first bad one out of the way. Always gotta have the first sketchy one. Chain just came off. We're gonna tighten that, I'll be right back.
Rookie.
Well, it might not be the right tools for the job, but it's just as easy as a bicycle. Solid. I had to move to the work boots again. If we can keep it smooth, we can get through that.
Next time we're getting it. Next time we're getting it. Next time we're getting it.
Yeah, we're getting all the way through it this time.
Okay.
I keep hitting that rut right there. So I stay left, scrub that, gas it, and then I should feel comfortable for the middle one. Okay, we got that.
Oh my God.
We're good.
All in the name of science. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I rolled out of fine. I maxed out the rear end when I built it. So now that it's stretched, I got no more dropout to tighten it anymore. I gotta take a link out of the chain, and I didn't bring a chain tool.
You look good right up until it.
That's what we're here for. Let's get it fixed. That was definitely the most confident one. We're gonna get it though. We came here for that straightaway, and we're gonna get that straightaway. So what happened was I wanted it as long as I could possibly get it, you know, so I had the back axle all to the back of the dropout. So by the time my chain stretched, I had no room. So I tried tightening it, obviously happened again, but we just took a full link out, and now we got plenty of room to work with, so we're back. Unfortunately, we busted the lower of the perch for the brake, so I zip tied it for now. Hopefully my rear brake lever will at least stay there long enough to get to the straightaway.
Straight back into it?
Straight to it, let's go.
Yeah!
Yes, one more.
That was good.
I told myself if I got the middle one, I was just gonna do the third one. I got scared. That was sick though.
Yeah, that was good.
I think I only just tagged.
Again.
Damn it. Why does my chain keep coming off? Now I'm so determined. I'm not leaving until I get this. At least till we get the clip. Hey Jacob, let me steal that from you. I don't want to chance it anymore. So since you got a full battery, I'm gonna steal this for a minute. All right, so I actually messed up one of the links in the bike. which is unfortunate. I really want to get that section, but we're gonna see what we can do on the stage too. We got a fresh battery. It just doesn't have the power through the bottoms. It just doesn't have the bottom end it needs.
You gotta get that Stark hookup now.
No, the M2 is on its way. The M2 will be faster than that Pro Spec, and that's gonna be the bike.
It just seems like the throttle. Do you ever notice it's like a slight delay when
Yeah, that's exactly. You don't even ride and you felt that.
Yeah, that's why it's like almost like you have to get on it before you even land.
Right, it's like, right, so when you need it, you need to get everything out of the top of the roller. So if it doesn't kick into the bottom of the roller, but that's why they came out with the stronger version. So the M2 is on the way. All right, if I gas it in there, I think I'm just gonna, worst case I can't.
All right, so funny. He's gonna do it 3 more times.
I ride the little bikes, I get no arm pump. I ride the big bikes, 2 laps in, my arms are stiff as can be. Today was very productive. I'm gonna let my wife clock out and then head home. We'll continue this chat. Oh, yeah!
Ah, you did it! Yeah! That was smooth.
Something told me to do it again.
What'd I tell you?
I literally rode away and thought, no, I just gotta give it one more go.
That was smooth too.
Thanks, babe. We're gonna go check out another track and I'll check back in with you guys. Back in the shop and cleaned up. Not that this video is even a comparison, but with these 2 bikes being kind of hot on the market right now, I thought it was important just to do some comparison as far as sizing. We obviously know the Pro Spec is faster, but it's faster because I completely modified it. Out of the box, fully modified. So since I thought it was important to compare these things, you have a $3,000 bike straight out of the box, and then you have a $1,700 bike right out of the box. So I took the time and I broke down all the prices for you so you can know what to expect, whether you're getting the RTR and you want to upgrade it later on, or you want to save some money and go the cheaper route now, get used to it, and then bump up the speed as you go. I want to go over some sizes because I think the sizing and comparison of the 2 bikes are important for whether you're a tall rider or a shorter rider. I am 5'6". I weigh about 180 pounds, so you can use that to kind of compare. Okay, I'm gonna do a few of the measurements that I feel are important to me as a rider. The RTR wheelbase, 44.5 inches, 43 3/4. Little over an inch longer wheelbase on the RTR if you really stretch it out. Peg height from the ground, 12.5 inches, 12 3/4. Rear end length, the rear axle to the pivot point of the swing arm. 17-inch rear end, 18-inch rear end on the Pro Spec. Axle to where your foot would be sitting, 17 3/4, 20 inches. So the back end on the Pro Spec is going to be a little longer than the RTR, which tells me it's going to be a little easier to stand up a wheelie on the RTR than maybe the Pro Spec would be. Does that mean if 27 1/4 from the peg to the front axle, 24 1/4? So the Pro Spec, your feet when you're on the pegs are actually about 3 inches closer to the front wheel, so which is moving your weight to the front of the bike. And depending on what style riding you do, like I like to go ride tracks and jumps, having a lot of weight over the front end can really change how the bike rides. Seat height, 30 inches from the ground, and that's to the lowest part of the seat. On the Pro Spec, it's 29 3/4. Well, there we go. We have 12-inch rear, 14-inch front wheels on both of these bikes. Now, for the specs on what you're gonna spend The RTR comes stock with 8 kilowatt motor. This Pro Spec has an 11 kilowatt motor. So you got 8,000 watts, 11,000 watts. So off the Electro and Co website, to buy a stock Pro Spec, you were looking at $1,750. Now, to do all the upgrades, to put the chain and sprocket on here, you're looking at $130. To put these brakes on here, you're looking at $230. To put the fork kit on here, you're looking at another $200. The rear shock is $150. This nice aluminum billet linkage, that is $150. For the guts, you're looking at the Pro Spec Extreme 14,000 watt Razor kit for around $1,700. The ODI KTM Super Mini handlebars, that's another $100. So to get away with buying this bike that I've built right here in front of me, you're looking at about $4,400. Now, the RTR, you want this bike to perform as fast as this bike, which would make this bike absolutely insane. I don't think you can do it yet. There's some coming soons, and I'm pretty sure Electro and Co is in the works of building a packet for this. But I imagine if you're putting in a new battery and a new motor, you're gonna add in another $1,000. So they kind of even out. But hopefully I just saved you some time from going on the website and doing it yourself. Whatever the case, these two bikes I have here are the leaders in their class of e-bikes, the obviously smaller pit bike size bikes. I have yet to see another bike that's gonna outperform either of these. Yes, you can obviously throw street wheels and have just as much fun on the street, but I'm a dirt guy. That's what we're talking about here today. So that is a wrap on my well overdue modified Pro Spec video, but I'm glad it was delayed because at the end of the day, I was able to compare the two and ride both of them. I'm stoked to have a buddy that owns an RTR. I'm obviously the Razor guy, but it's kind of like we have both of them in the family. I've put a discount code for the Electro and Co website that could save you a few $100 on a build like this. I hope you enjoyed the riding in this video and you found this video helpful. Leave some comments below on something I might have missed, or maybe there's something else you didn't know and I'll track it down for you and get you those answers. So like always, subscribe if you haven't already, leave some comments, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Peace.